And we're hot. We're live, and we have a special guest with us tonight. Say hi, Buck.
Hi, Buck.
So what I'm going to do, I finally have a new phone, so now I'm going to use my old phone here to watch comments. Then we can see comments live. Oh, one person joined already.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Yay! And of course, if you keep the volume up, you get feedback.
Obviously.
Which isn't the best. James is here. Adam Rendo, welcome. James, how many people we have watching tonight? Steven. Yeah, we're good. So this is actually Buck's chainsaw. Well, it came from Brian. So thank you to Brian for that. I don't know if Brian's going to be on, but Marcelino Valencia. Right on time. Yeah, something like that. We're about... Hey, Dan. We're doing a 346 tonight. Keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing, so, you know.
I'm new. I don't know what to do.
I have no idea. What are we doing? James says he's got about 50 family members watching right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they get serious. So let's do a little... I'm going to clean up a little bit here while we're kind of waiting for people to show up. We actually have 346, and Buck also has a 350 here that needs kind of a little bit of extra love, so why not, right? Actually, this piece of paper goes with that 372 or 365 we threw down for Brian. So we have an idea of what it needs. Which means we could use a piece of paper to figure out what this needs, too.
Oh, boy.
That
Paper.
would be smart. Can you... Actually, it would be better if I go upstairs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Let me get some paper.
All right.
I'm going to shove you upstairs and downstairs. Okay. Tell jokes, Buck.
Nobody wants to hear me tell jokes. Get this out of the way.
Drill bit, put that away. Okay. I actually tear these pieces of paper off. So if I'm shipping something like toolkits,
Yeah.
you get half the paper, so you rip it, and now we have scratch paper for saws. Did we get the fuel out of here?
Yes.
It was pretty fresh too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Oh.
Keep dropping. Sweet. So this saw is getting a full teardown. What was wrong with it? I forget. Lean C's, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they can see in there.
Yeah.
Probably not. But
William Prophet, Van Mill Bob. Bob, did you get the package?
there you go. You should be able to see that. It's pretty cooked in there.
So you can actually go, if you go to the other side of the phone, and you can actually, if you tap on a spot, it'll zoom in or whatever. You can, if you wanted to show something.
We've all seen a
Lean C's,
seized,
so.
a lean seized cylinder, so it's lean seized. It's no good.
We do need to empty the oil. Otherwise, we're going to empty it all over my bench.
Cool.
Yeah, done that.
Better yours than mine. Oh wait, I don't have a
You
bench.
don't have a bench. Get a bench, Buck. Yeah, we will.
Why don't you get the selfie stick out of the way?
Good point. Zip it up. Alright, that's the one way to do it. I like my selfie stick. I used that for the GoPro when I was doing the bolt for bolt stuff. You just have it right here, and it was actually pretty convenient. Because I have dainty hands, I use lots of Kleenexes.
Aw, how cute.
Alright, so And this is a 40, I think this is a 42 millimeter head. Let's measure it.
Your dial calipers?
Where's my measurer? Oh, in here. Got it. And it, man, it sounds, doesn't it sound amazing? Yeah, Bob, that 2888 sounded absolutely fantastic. It just purrs so beautiful. No, that's a 44.3.
Is it?
It is.
Doesn't look right.
So I guess we can clean that up, and I got a 44.3 piston sitting around. I got a
I
Meteor.
don't think that'll clean up.
You don't think that'll clean up?
No, it's...
Ooh. Well, wait a minute. Wasn't there... Who knows? You never know.
What's the worst it's going to do? Blow up?
I just don't know why it's seized, so we don't know. We don't know. So let's take this apart, right? Where to start? Could let Buck do this and just hand him tools. Another good one. Ooh, does this have the limited?
It does have limited coil.
All right, box.
I prefer unlimited.
Tend to be my preference too. I know that Mastermind really likes the 41, the 14,000 coils, the ones that are limited at 14.
Yeah, he says they have a better idle circuit, or idle timing. Stay there.
I'm glad you're on. I was getting down reading.
And this is an unlimited.
Limit 350?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember if I've actually seen 350s with limited coils. Could be wrong. 4 millimeter over here. Oh, I got it here. Oh, come on.
You're supposed to clean that first.
I did clean it.
Apparently not well enough.
Apparently not well enough. Of course, this would be positioned perfectly. Yeah, good. PA Dan, doesn't Randy use those 395s or so? Use what? Limited coils? I don't think 395s don't have. I don't think they're available with limited coil.
I think they only come with a limited coil.
The 395 coils?
I think so. I think they're only limited.
Well, it's only one coil that I know is available. I don't know whether it's limited or unlimited. I always assumed it was unlimited because it's black. It's not blue. Actually, you want to see what that one is? And into the box. That's for you. This is over here. Yeah, the 14.1, I think it fits on 372s, but not 394, 395 is a unique coil, unfortunately.
It is. It's an eyeball size and shape.
What is this?
14.1.
It's a 14.1 coil.
Yep.
Sweet. Somebody likes that.
It's not me.
Could sell that to Randy for good money.
I'll give it to Randy. Sell it to him.
He offers good money to it for that, you know. Although I don't know how many he's doing anymore, because I know he's just doing new stuff, you know. He's mainly doing new stuff.
Thusly, sir, I do not know. Been kind of out of the game for a while.
Yeah, I know. Coarse thread. Damn 346 has coarse thread.
That makes no sense.
Nope.
Let me get this junk out of here.
Box for that. And let's do this. And we're going to do a little vacuum. Here, because it helps.
Make a mess.
Fine.
Nobody's commented that you're using the correct bench.
Has anybody commented? Probably not. Let's see. I don't think so. Nope, nobody's commented yet. You're right. I'm probably using the correct bench. Jade's here. How's it going? Who's your special guest? Special guest is Usmcbuckwild. Buck Wild. Also known as Kurt, but...
Or Buck.
Or Buck.
Or
But on the forums, he's Buckwild on OPE. Among other places and other things and whatever else he does. So, actually, just so everybody knows, so Buck and I actually met at the Connecticut get-together, and like everybody has things that they do, you know, that like I do trash saws and I mainly work on Huskies, and that's kind of what I'm mostly known for. Buck tends to be known, other than being just generally super cool, he happens to be known for doing the Echo 2511s, the cute little Echo top handle saws, because he kind of got into doing those, and then he kind of got known for it. So, because he's got a pretty sweet recipe to make them things run, which is cool. So, yeah, so I ran one of his at that Connecticut get-together, what, a couple years ago now? When was that? Was that last year? Or was that a couple years ago?
Last year. We had chit-chatted before that a bunch of times, but
yeah,
that's when we actually met face-to-face.
We need a metal tray. Save that. So,
I had worked on saws for a while, kind of taught myself a bunch of porting and stuff like that, and then sold the house and moved, and never really got back into it. Don't have a place to work on them, so I've been stagnant for a while.
what's up, Buck? I'll be doing that 2511 we talked about. Some PA Dan.
Hey, what's up, man?
Dan, you might recognize.
Yep. Yeah, we had talked about that.
Welder fixed me up, 4 hours work. Good. Tammy Fort. Hi, Matt, on the wifey phone? Who's Tammy Fort? And who's on the wifey phone?
Yeah. Obviously, his wife's name is Tammy.
Somebody's wife's name is Tammy. I don't know who Tammy is. Well, welcome just the same. Don't know who you are, but okay. Buck, do you have a channel? Ben Mill Bob is asking if you have a channel.
No, I don't. I haven't worked on saws in probably about a year, maybe a touch more. Got to find a new place to live and a a shop to call my own before I can start getting back into it.
We'll get back into it pretty quick. Though.
Do you know who Matt Fort is?
Matt Fort. Well, there goes that phone.
Oh, your phone shut off.
I know.
Oh, that's because
Of ladies watching the channel, with probably the exception of Mrs. Pate. Mrs.
Do you know what you're doing?
Yes, but sure. That's stuck.
Yeah.
You think?
It got hot. It got really hot.
Normally you can just tap the damn thing out, but instead I got to break out a set of freaking pliers. Who doesn't like their pliers? And since the wrist pins are hardened, no, it ain't moving, man. Jeez. Did it come up? 86%. Sweet. Okay. We'll bring up YouTube on here. Come on.
Dan, you don't see me. You just hear me and see, little bits of my hands.
So yeah, basically, when did I get the 2511 for you? A couple months ago now? Okay. Well, when did we start hanging out?
A couple months ago.
A couple months ago. Yeah, somewhere around there. Buck has a habit of hanging out at my place at this point.
It happens.
It happens. There we go. Now I got you guys back. There we go. Now I can see comments. Are we good? You stepped into the camera path. I'm here.
Apparently I did.
Okay.
Sorry, won't let that happen again. We want to see my ugly mug.
Now where the heck did that... Right, I was going to do this, and then I was going to do that. Okay. Get back into my...
Hit it like
It
you mean
did
it.
not go through. No, because you're going to break the crank.
Okay.
You're going to break the crank. Ha!
Oof. Yeah, that got hot.
Save that, though.
That got real hot.
Okay, so now we've got our...
Bearing looks to be in actually pretty good shape.
Yeah, the OEM ones hold up really well. I've seen some pretty
That
destroyed
wrist pin
stuff.
didn't.
So Bob's got the 346 is running. Good. You like it, huh?
So there's the piston that's seized. So you get to see just how nasty it is. Clutch is in really good shape. It almost looks new.
I wonder if this got hot.
It's deformed just a little bit. You can see where it swelled up when it got hot in the middle.
Yeah, so I think you need a new one of those.
Ah, it'll be fine.
We'll put that on the list. Oiler worm. Okay.
Oh, still pretty good.
Let's get. Well, this just comes off, right? Yep. So those lines just come right off there.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't like
That's
these
new.
are. Yeah.
They're new. Somebody put money into this.
Grab those, put them on the metal tray. Such a pain.
Oh, like you mean it.
Yeah. Matt Fort, is it Matt? Same. He goes by Matt.
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 Matty.
Do I have that right? Matt Fort is Matt. What the? There, it comes off like that. Sweet.
It's like brand new.
Is gunked up. New but gunked. Let's get the tank off. Nice to see a chain catcher that's not all screwed up.
Yeah, it's covered.
Oil's a bit much, but runs great. Not wanting to give it up. Well, yeah, that's the thing with saws. It's going to be hard to give that one up.
What's that, 346?
Yeah, he had gotten that. He bought that off me for a buddy. I think, if I remember right, he was kind of thinking about, giving it to a buddy, but that's what happens when you toss a 32 on a 346 with a adult chain. So, AV mount, and these aren't really AV, these are more like AV buffers, they're not really mounts. But
some of them I've made out of polyurethane in the past.
If you need more of them rubber mounts, let me know, because I got 1,000 of them sitting
Yeah.
around from all the 350s I've taken apart. Son of Liberty 1984 evening. How are you? 346 on the bench right now for a customer. Nice. Husky 268. Hey Matt, glad you're back. Thanks. Got to get back to having fun, guys. That's the objective here, you know? You know what I mean?
That's dirty. It's all raw gas too. So it must have had a fuel leak. That's why I got all new lines. Interesting. Done yet?
No.
How about now?
No. Leave me alone. Stop pressuring me. Don't work well under pressure.
What would you know about pressure?
I know plenty about pressure, as it turns out, but that's okay. Oh, it's missing a front dog bolt.
Yeah, that's all right. Those are overrated. They made up for it, but that one way too tight.
Turns out that one's oh no, it's not missing the dog bolt because we took that apart before because that was the bracket, the support bracket. Yeah, that was the
Was
support.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the support bracket was attached to that. So
That was still way too tight.
William Maddie sent me a chain that's plenty aggressive. 346 just wants to eat. Yep, it does. Porting and running fun. Dude, so idle. Dude, so with idle issues isn't fun. No, I know. I hate chasing idle issues. We were just talking about that tonight. Can't stand it when a saw has two idles. That drives me berserk. Get it all together and the damn thing just wants to idle in two different places. You're like, what the heck?
Here. Do another one just for little bolts.
Okay.
Make life easy.
Yeah, whatever. Your saw. Technically, it's still Brian's, but we are buying it off of him. So, whatever. Boop, boop, done. And this thing,
Can get tossed.
I have a bunch of those sitting around too.
Mm.
So the chain tensioners we just pull out and use and instead of using the chain tensioner that is integral with the chassis here, use one that is from a 455 Rancher. It's just better. Now I have to remember where all these chassis bolts are, so I don't try to split this.
Yeah, don't break my cases.
Done it.
Yes, we all have.
I tore the hell out of a 262 case one day. I didn't know that the two dog bolts were also case bolts.
Oops.
And literally
Snapped
just
the front off.
it tore the mag. This right here just started tearing. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, I did with a 372. Don't feel bad.
372 cases are a little easier to find than the 262 ones. But yeah, it hurts either way. All right. One. Two. So yeah, we don't know where the air leak was or what was going on. The saw's been used enough. 2009, so it's 11 years old. You might as well throw new bearings in it. Just cheap insurance that you won't have any other trouble. And unfortunately, I can't use the usual case splitter on this because the case is too small. So we're going to have to do it with heat, and then we're going to use the bearing puller.
Oh, apparently at Matee is watching as well.
Okay.
What's up, Drool?
Andrew, what's going on? Andrew Matee. Andrew, I don't think I've seen you on here before. Welcome. We're just hanging out. Just ignore us. I have no idea. I'm glad Buck's here because I have no idea what I'm doing. So, do you want the primer bulb on this saw?
Doesn't matter.
Because you can remove the primer bulb and put a top cover on.
Yeah, no, I'll just leave it on there just for
Just saying.
just to make it look like a homeowner saw. Can I say I like playing with people?
Not really a surprise, but okay. Okay, so we've got the two anterior bolts are out. I don't think there's one here. No.
No.
So it's just two anteriors and four there, and now we're good. Now what we just need to do is take and heat the heck out of this case. Let me go quickly wash this off, and that way we can put some heat on it and get it going.
Fire!
Don't let Buck break anything. Yeah.
Be nice. Be nice.
No, be as mean as Buck as you want. Take shots, whatever. Good. I'm just taking a little bit of dirt off here, Buck. That way.
So you're just washing it?
Fire.
You're doing the dishes? Got to keep those nice dish pan hands. Manny and Buck, is the 365 the only Husqvarna with the external sprocket like steel used? Question from Bandmill Bob about the external sprockets on the 365. That's not the only external sprocket saw.
Oh shoot! Now he's asking hard questions. I mean the inboard clutch. It's because it's an inboard clutch.
Yeah,
and
inboard
sprockets
clutch
on
and
the.
sprockets on the outside. Yeah.
So what other of Husky stuff is inboard clutch? Probably the 562. No, the 562 isn't.
I don't think so.
Is the 572 inboard? I think the 572 probably is. So what other of Husky is inboard clutch?
55s, aren't they? 55 and 51.
No. Because that's the same, basically the same setup as the 257, 262. That's external clutch. Outboard clutch.
Honestly, I don't remember.
It's funny, I can't think of any others other than the 372 in the series that is inboard. At least not offhand. 394, 395 is not. 3120 is not.
No, and I know they did it because of heat.
357, 359 is not.
I honestly don't know.
The 2 series stuff is not. 242, 262, 272.
281, 288 isn't.
Right.
The 181 isn't. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, 372 is inboard, but what other of Husky stuff is inboard would be the question. Don't you guys have a dome where you can work on? No.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't want to hear about it. I want to do Husky, damn it.
I like Domars.
Okay. So, there's basically 2 ways.
It says Husky 268.
Yeah. He likes, can you tell us?
575. Blech. Blech.
Yeah, well, basically because it's a nearly identical clutch to a 372 with the exception of the threads. The threads are M15.
I think I got a 575 hanging around somewhere. I started to port it and then got pissed off and threw it.
I forgot to do. Oops.
Hey, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to order one of those too. Yeah, it's cooked.
No, it's fine. What the hell is in here that's... Come on. There's something, like, in there.
Is it hung up in the keeper?
No, I think that's actually the paper gasket.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to split this. You know, you can use the Husky splitter on most of these, except for the 346. It's just too small. The Husky splitter won't fit in here. So you have to use heat, or you could use an adapter for the bar studs, but then you're still having to use heat for the other side.
You got a fire extinguisher, right? Because I'm not wasting my beer to put out any fires that you make.
Got it. If I start the magnesium on fire, I will have an issue. More heat. So the downside to doing it this way is that the bearings stay on the crank, so you definitely need to get a bearing puller.
Send a little smoke signals there.
I don't know. Should have hit this with a pressure washer. All right, I don't have a pressure washer.
Solvent tank.
My ultrasonic's not quite big enough. A glove. Get hotter. It'll go. expecting that. Just untwist that. Yeah, it still isn't on. Check this for heat.
There.
I fight with that thing all the time.
No more fire.
Fire.
Still for.
My temperature gun. In case you're wondering why the fire alarm's still going off.
Yeah, they're all linked.
No, you can hear it in here.
Oh.
I don't know where my temperature gun went.
Who cares?
All right, I know. Hit it with more heat.
Hit it with a hammer.
I'd rather not wreck your crank too, you know.
Well, Drew is working on a very old school saw.
Okay.
It's not actually a saw. It's a wood handling device.
Yeah. What are those things called again? Just want to get it sort of separated. She ain't coming, Buck.
She doesn't like you.
I know. Not uncommon. I'm used to that sort of thing. Just stick a screwdriver in there and, you know.
Yeah, just pry it.
Just ruin it. Yeah.
No reason it shouldn't be coming apart.
Oh, there goes the oil. That's hot, by the way.
Oh, hey, that is.
Careful.
That's all right.
Here.
They're only fingers. They grow back.
It'll go. We just gotta get enough heat. Gotta be hot now. There it goes. Ta-da! Yeah, see the
Yeah, the paper gas
paper was
all
getting
goobered up.
Yeah, screwed up.
Oh, that's why.
That was where the leak was?
Could be. But no. It's still pretty good in there.
That's hot as heck. We're gonna sit that down here.
Over here. On the floor.
Now we do the other side.
Put some paper towels down. It's got hot oil in it.
Call that fish paper.
Fish paper, huh?
That is the best torch money can buy. I know. I love this thing. I've really enjoyed using this for a long time.
This is like watching Bedford Steve work on saws. Who's that?
Can you hone out the cylinder? Yes, you can, but it's very expensive, and there are very few companies that properly do it. So there's not really a whole lot of point. Because it's plated. So you have to hone it out and then replate it. Imagine how long this would take with a heat gun. The house is going to smell nice from when my wife comes home tomorrow. Hey, look, there it is.
Hey, that came off.
Don't touch.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
hot,
touching
bud.
that. It looks hot.
It's hot. Damn it. But while we're at it, might as well.
Tap the seal
There. Seal's out. Done.
Expedient.
Expeditiously. That's right. Hey, stop hurting yourself. So, split. But we still got to get the bearings off. And we could do that in a few minutes.
When it cools off.
When it cools off a little. I don't see anything wrong with the bearings. At least nothing obvious. Darren Smith. Hey Matt, do you find much heat? That much heat destroys the paint? Not if you keep it moving. Remember, saws are used to heat. It's a lot of heat down in there. So if you keep it moving, in general, no.
The seal's in good shape still too.
How many people do we have tonight? 24 people. Jeepers.
You're famous.
Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot. Maybe a little bit. I don't know what it means though. I think we're past 8,500 subscribers. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I don't know what it means. What does it mean? I'm not flying a jet yet, you know. Nothing like that. I have to get a lot of subs to be, you know, like those guys. Which, by the way, is not exactly the objective. The objective is to hang out with you guys. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, you gotta keep the heat moving. It's not too bad. It's still hot.
Yeah, put it on the concrete.
Take all this. Do that. Garbage. Good. And where's the 350? Let's do that. And we
That
don't
is
wanna-
ugly.
That is ugly, yeah. Let's not get the parts screwed up. So do you want to just take this and throw that in the bag?
Yeah, just take all these parts and put them into one.
Pat? One way to do it.
Don't lose those.
Here.
What? You give me a Ziploc bag now after you had to just dumped everything in a box, you clown.
I was wondering what the heck you were doing.
Goober.
Put these in its own little view. For sure. Funny, when I first started working at the bike shop, anybody that was fresh and new at the bike shop, they called gooniers, which I figured it stood for go for junior. Go for this, go for that type of thing.
Yeah.
But nobody ever really told me what it was stood for. It was just called gooniers instead of goobers. Probably should have been called goobers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Goober's probably a little bit better fitting. Yes, there's 350s. Same idea. Cylinder's pretty well shot.
But that's 44 millimeter open port.
Yes.
So that we can upgrade. We'll upgrade you. Among other things.
And it's ugly.
And it's ugly. All right.
What do you want?
In the box.
Give me that.
Gerbils.
So, PA Dan wants to know what kind of case splitter does Matt have that doesn't work on a 346? Uh-oh, you just got called out.
Dan, I'm not as cool as you. That's the truth.
I think he's just showing off. Man, I'm so cool. I've got a special case splitter. That's I don't even think. It looks like the same one you have.
I know. I don't think it'll fit. I'm pretty sure it didn't fit. The last time I checked and tried,
Well,
it
try it
didn't
on this
friggin'
one.
fit.
Oh, this one we don't have to split the case because it's the
Right, this one we don't have to
plastic
split.
garbage
Yeah.
saw.
Just a 350, so no split in here. But you do have to split the clamshell, but it's not quite the same.
No.
I know. I need to essentially make a splitter that's better. And I can do it now. I got the welder, but
70 Bonneville. We're working on a 346, and now we're disassembling yet another 350. Actually, he is. I'm just sitting here watching and drinking beer.
it's plenty cool to watch and drink beer. Think about what all these guys are doing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
Watching
everybody
us
else.
drinking beer.
That's right. Everybody else doing anyway. What's the difference? Hurry up, boys. We're not going to get anything back together today. Unfortunately, I don't have.
What do you mean we're not? I thought I was going home with a working saw.
You're not getting a working saw, Buck. I know you got to feed your family and everything.
I don't have a family. I'm alone. I'm all by myself.
I'm kind of all by myself right now too.
Yeah, but your family comes home tomorrow.
Yeah. I think all parties involved have mixed feelings about that. Where the heck did the red handles pliers go? Are they under here somewhere? Did I throw them out?
Did you put them away?
I put them in the wrong drawer. Ah.
Clown. Yep, PA Dan says, yeah, it's the same case splitter he has that you have, so.
So it should work, is what he's saying.
Yeah. So you just went through all that extra effort.
Shh. Quiet.
What's the matter? You don't work well under pressure?
Like I said, just not as cool as PA Dan. I wish I was cooler.
When I grow up, I want to be a real boy.
I know. It's Pinocchio, right?
Yeah.
That's Pinocchio.
Yeah. You think Dan has a special tool for that too?
Probably. They have them. They've got,
Yeah.
wrist pin pullers. I've seen them. I'm not so sure I really feel like.
Hey!
I don't feel like spending the money on that, but
That one's in much better shape than the other one was. It definitely did not hit as hot.
he hits it with his purse. What was
Oh, sorry,
That-
Pops.
Hang on. Before. I need a magnet.
Oh, look, a little magnetic screwdriver. How'd that do?
Shh. Anybody think that clutch is on tight?
I am Husky stupid. What would be the Husky equivalent to an MS660?
Probably a 288 would be pretty close.
I think that's as close as it can get. I mean, 394 is a little, 395 is a little bigger.
A little bigger, theoretically. Wow, that's tight. Look at that. I swear, if somebody mentions the fact that I'm using a torque wrench and a breaker bar, I'm going to be upset.
Whoever this Bedford guy is, he's got a wrist pin puller.
There are very few people I've banned from the channel. Bedford is one of them.
Oh. So it's an inside joke.
It might be. Somebody might not be joking, but...
Well, that's not very nice.
Did I ban him from the channel? You're right.
Well, that too.
He called me out on something. Which is fine. You can call me out on anything. I'm fine with Dan calling me out on the puller thing. That's fine. But if you're proved wrong, don't make it out like the whole thing was a joke.
I'm wrong all the time.
I'm wrong plenty. It don't feel good.
I was wrong about my own name today.
Oh, jeez. For you?
Oh.
Gifts.
Yeah, this is definitely an old stock clutch.
What did I drop on the floor? I dropped something, fell. It doesn't matter.
Bolt right there.
There's a bolt?
Yep.
What was that doing?
Probably something important.
Here.
You should probably take the flywheel off.
You know, that might be a good idea.
That's what I would do.
You want to do that now?
Yeah. I'm not telling you how to do your job, but I'm just saying that's what I would do.
Because you're looking at that thing going, you know what? That would be good to remove.
I'm not telling you to, but if I were you, I'd do it now. It's a whole lot more of a pain in the butt.
I mean, like right this second, really. Yeah. Here, put all this stuff in the bucket.
But I don't want to.
I know. You don't feel right. I understand. Hey, look, magnetic screwdriver comes flying across the room. Usually I like to... I'm not trying to pry it, I just hold it up in the air.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Ta-da! Flywheel's still good.
You sure?
Well, the key's still there.
Not for long.
Oh, you gonna be able to do a little advance on it?
Oh, I don't want nothing.
I'm really not confident that advancing on these does very much of anything.
I know I found it doesn't do much of anything on the 2511s. If anything, it's derogatory.
Is it okay that I pull the oiler right now? Is that all right with you? Just checking.
Do whatever the hell you want. You could throw us on the floor and run away for all I care.
But there's still beer in the house, so why would I run away? the moment.
Ooh,
4mm, pull the oiler. Let's get the tank off. Yeah, that's not the best.
that wasn't the right way to do it.
That was the right way to do it.
Oh,
Told you I knew what I was doing.
Bandmill Bob needs a beer. There you go, Bandmill. That's what you need.
Maka, hey Matt, how's it going? Welcome. Don't lose this. That's like $8 right there. Might not look like $8, but that's actually what like Tusky charges for that type of crap. Same problem.
Spring.
Yeah, well, it comes loose like on the other end. There we go. If I can get into the keeper of the plastic case, it actually goes okay. Just needs to be tightened later. Get rid of it. So conveniently, they use the same thread and the same buffers. Essentially, on this is on the 346, but the 346 is metal case. So they, I don't think they tap the magnesium. I think they just friggin' run it right in.
Yeah, and just leave it
At the factory. That's dirty. Make sure you clean that good.
No,
Fine.
I don't want to.
Oh. Ha! You want to? You want to know why that the failed?
Huh?
Because there's a bolt missing.
That's fine, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
That's okay.
There's a bolt missing. The thing with these also is those are really crucial bolts, but in order to get to them to see them, you have to take the dang tank off. So who's going to take?
Or break the tank off, you know, one or the other. Guilty.
That's reasonable, right? Gee, I want to check this. Just break it.
Been there, broke that, you know. Fives.
I'll let you do the honors. You do it.
I'm not good at doing stuff.
Be a mechanic for once.
Damn coarse threads.
Yeah, that was like one of the banes of this saw was the fact that they were coarse thread and just didn't hold as good. See, that came off too easy.
It wasn't sealed at all.
Like zero. So what you could do, assuming that that was actually the issue, because I think that probably was, then the bearings are still good. You know?
Can't tell if that bearing locked a little bit. It might have.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, it's gonna come right at you and take out your teeth. Yeah, I'll bet those bearings are fine.
The bearings are good. Wow. I'd like to see it a little tighter than that, but you fell right off.
No, that's exactly what happens to 350s. They slide right on and off.
When they get hot?
No, when brand new. There's no press fit. Crunchy?
Crunchy.
Toss them. We'll do new. Not a big deal. But this comes as an assembly. So they're not, unfortunately, they're not cheap. They're like $30 a shot. Because it comes as a, you can get the aftermarket seals if you want, and then just use Natchies. I've got those too. But, or you can just use the OEM ones, and it comes as a piece. Which is this is one of the reasons why 350s are very expensive to rebuild, is because it starts with bearing and seal combo that's very pricey. Once it's sealed properly, and it runs like a bandit, but
yeah, no, these seals are
Leonard.
out. They're flat spotted. They're on their way out. They're getting hard. So those seals are junk. That piston's junk.
Poached. Done.
That we need to save.
That would be a good idea to save. Yeah. A little bit of Scotch-Brite on there and you're done.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine. Crank's in good shape.
Now you just need to spend a couple hours with a pressure washer on that case. Right, I need a drink too. Hang on a second. I need a drink.
Yeah. Beer 30. So if you didn't see it before, there it's grody.
Who said I was drinking beer?
Mountain Spew.
Shh. This is throwback.
Yeah.
Real sugar. Oh God, that is joy in a can.
Flavor orgasm of the mouth?
No, it's better than that. It's literally just joy in a can. I don't have it that often, but man, have it with you guys. Oh, we needed to pull the bearings off that. That's the only thing we need to do tonight. Then we can hang out and drink beer for the rest of the night, and you guys aren't invited.
I want to drink beer.
You're invited. Harbor Freight puller kit. Works a lot better than expected. We gotta put it together like every friggin' time. It's just, that's annoying.
I bet PA Dan doesn't have to put his together every time.
That's right. Dan probably has a much better set than this. Like I said,
He's a real mechanic.
He's a real. He actually does real small engines as opposed to what I do.
So my buddy started wearing latex gloves at his
Okay.
shop, and somebody made fun of him and called him bitch mittens.
Bitch mittens. He's wearing bitch mittens.
He's got bitch mittens on. So you can't be a real mechanic unless you wear bitch mittens.
Eric the Car Guy was made fun of. Have you seen Eric the Car Guy's stuff?
Mm-mm.
So, one of my YouTube heroes is Eric the Car Guy. ECGC or something. ECTG, TGC, whatever. So, Eric is, I think he's probably like pretty much like an average Joe mechanic, but he started doing a YouTube channel on all the stuff that he did, and it just took off like mad. It just tons and tons and tons of DIY stuff, and mostly I think it was on Hondas, but it's generally really pretty good diagnosis and stuff, how to on diagnosis and whatnot, which just really makes it very, very interesting. But yeah, he wears gloves all the time, and he's like, yeah, everybody makes fun of me for wearing bitch mittens.
Bitch mittens. I'm sorry, but you can't say bitch mittens without laughing.
I want to be a real mechanic.
So, the thing with these is that
Just use the impact on it.
no, yeah, I could, but really is not best. Why is this so doggone far off here? Usually I have this in the vise. It's got to grab. That's the thing, is the jaws have to grab. Once it's grabbed, you have it and you're fine. But
Somebody said, "Oh, you cleaned the shop."
yeah, see, I told you.
We didn't miss it, Mr. J. Daniels.
Hey Jay, how's it going?
I went to public school. My reading comprehension skills are a little lacking. Took me a little while.
Jay's actually a good customer, by the way.
Bubble bath and skull time.
Skull time. Oh my god.
What are you gonna spitch on yourself in the bath? That's just weird.
You don't do that in the bath? Jeez.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Prophet.
William's funny. William Prophet. He does a lot of videos on. He's got like a. William, what do you have? Like a 56-inch bar on your 660 to do milling? Is that what you use? Or is it 52, 56, something like that? One of the Forester bars. He does some really nice woodworking stuff. I am not a woodworker.
Who was that lunatic guy who put a 48-inch bar on an 026 and was trying to sell it on eBay?
That's Piltz. Mr. Piltz. What the heck is going on there?
That guy. He's funny. Not funny, haha, funny sad.
Funny, uh-oh, yeah. Yeah, he gets never-ending crap on the forums.
36, 42, 56 on 660s.
Fine. Let's see, is this gonna go? Oh yeah, check that out. So, got it grabbed,
I see it flexing.
and you can, yeah, the whole thing flexes like crazy.
I wouldn't trust my teeth anywhere around that.
I don't think they go pop. It doesn't really go pop, but it does come off. So in order to, like, I've tried this with just heat.
Yeah, it won't go.
It won't go. I saw, was it Donnie Boy did a video on that, and just used just heat. It was one of the small engine mechanics on YouTube. He used just heat pulling the bearing off, and he got it. And I tried it, and I'm like, nope, that didn't work.
I'll take things that aren't going to happen for $500, Alex.
We're a lot of money. So now we can just. This one's easy because it's easier to grab. You can get the fingers, the jaws underneath the bearing a whole lot easier. I'll let Buck try and see if he can do it. Hey, Tim. Is there anybody here that hasn't had a shout out? You bring a dip cup into the shower, into the bath. Okay. Jay, are you commented on the bench? Okay. I missed it. Sorry. What are you doing?
I'm making it tight. What are you doing?
It looks like you're making it symmetrical, which is just weird.
What? Are you judging me?
All day, every day.
That's not nice. Doesn't pop my butt. Pretty sure that was an audible pop.
Yeah, but because your arms are twice the size of mine.
Well, we know why this is.
The first time I saw the crank, I'm like, the lobes are off. The pin's off. No, the lobes are just different.
Yeah. I'm talking about the lobes being different sizes for different counterweight. Whee!
So yeah, if you're gonna use heat, you have to have this puller. Everybody's like, you need a puller. You need a case splitter. It's like, well, case splitters are really nice to have, but if you're not gonna have it, you can split just about anything, but as long as you have with heat, as long as you have the bearing puller. But you gotta basically have one or the other. There's really no universal tool, unfortunately. And it's ideal to have both. That way, if you run into trouble, you can use the other. Yeah, the full team's here, pretty much. Pretty much. Actually, we don't have Ken. Where did Ken? Ken's not on. Full team's not here because we don't have Ken. We're missing Ken. Missing Adirondacks. Who else are we missing? A few other people. Off the bat. And I think Dan went back to his cool shop and doing cool stuff. All right, fine. You know what we gotta do?
Make fun of Dan?
Make fun of Dan a little bit more. Or at least prove him right or wrong.
Make fun of Drew.
Is Drew still there?
Is Drew still on there? I think so. Mr. Matee.
Where the heck? Where's my puller? You put it over there. Oh, ow. Right. Okay. So, let's see. This is hopefully cooled off by now. Does it fit?
It sure does.
Kind of looks like it does.
So,
I apologize to the folks here. Dan, you are right. It do fit. At least it does here without the crank in it, but I don't see why that wouldn't be an issue. Yeah. Shucks. Oh well. At least everybody gets to see how to do it with heat. Yeah.
because not everybody has that big thing. Yep, Drew's still here. He made a mom joke.
All right, this goes back in heat. Which one? Which box?
350, 346.
The beauty is now you've got the tools to put them back together.
Yeah, these are crunchy too.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Ken. Your mom. No, your mom. Yeah, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Great.
Drew's an overgrown third grader. So if you're gonna, what do they say? Don't argue with imbeciles. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you by experience.
I think the more I go through life, the more I figure out that really nobody left the third grade. With the name calling and everything. And like,
Right.
oh, I can't handle that.
Right.
Oh my. I want to work on a few saws, learn, hang out with you guys. That's what I want to do. You know, I don't need the name calling.
Yes, we do.
I know that you might, but so
You just gotta keep it fun. That's all.
gotta keep it fun. And thanks Dan for showing us that the error of my ways. Not that it's an error necessarily, but it certainly would have been a whole lot easier to use that thing. And I don't remember why the heck I really thought it wouldn't fit. I do not remember why it wouldn't. I just why that was in my brain. Sorry guys. Yep, gotta learn something every day. Yep. Every day in the dental office is different for me. Like a lot different. That's for sure. I mean, you need to have a ton of tools in your toolbox. You know,
Lots
mentally,
of tools.
physically, and otherwise.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're not going to get the job done. Everything's so different. Friggin', they're fillings. If I just do fillings, everyone's different. It's annoying. It really is. Everyone's a little bit different, and they all have similar themes, but they're different.
The only dentistry I've ever done was getting hit in the face by a guy really a whole lot bigger than me. Hey.
Leonard's having. If it don't fit, force it. Yeah, I know, Mega. I know. Use a bigger hammer.
I was going to
Simple.
say, you do need a bigger hammer.
I have bigger hammers, but for whatever reason, again, this stupid thing. I don't even know where I got it. It works. Good old-fashioned ball peen hammer. It might have come from my grandfather or my buddy's grandfather, one or the other. And it fits right there. Don't ask me why it works for me, but it does.
It works. That's all that matters.
Yep.
So,
James, good time. Thanks for okay. You gotta use heat every once in a while for nostalgia's sake. Now it's an adage to live by. Hammer, yes.
now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do you freeze your bearings before installing them?
No.
Why?
Not. I don't. I was keeping them in the freezer. I don't anymore. Because I don't think you have to. And so this is a really great discussion because there are, is it safest to install bearings with heat if you're talking about safe for the bearings and for the case, so you produce no wear?
I'd be worried about the seals.
So
I've always done it. I've always put the bearings in the freezer.
yeah.
Put the crank in the freezer, apply when loose,
Yeah.
and heat the case before, and they literally just flop right in.
Okay. So so bearings in the freezer, heating the case, put the bearing in is not necessarily a bad thing. It's the most safe if you're trying not to damage the case, right? You're going to put no wear on the case and the bearing will flop in. However, what happens when you lose your heat differential and that one time it doesn't fall in, you don't have a heat differential, it's not quite straight, whatever it is, then what do you do?
Well, it's the same as when you're heating the case and pressing it in anyways. You're still applying the same amount of force.
Still applying the same amount of force.
So you got to be smart about dropping your bearings in and make sure they're going square. And if they don't, pull it back out, put it back in the freezer, because even being out of the freezer for 30 seconds, it's already starting to lose some of that cold. So pull it out, toss it back in the freezer. Let it sit in the freezer for another half hour, 45 minutes. An hour of wasted time is better than wrecking a case.
So here's my contention. My contention on that is, yes, it's safest for the case to use a heat differential to get the bearings in. However, I have not yet damaged a case putting a bearing in with no hot or cold applied. I put what I do now to get bearings in. I actually use threaded rod, nut, and washers.
Yeah, and even pressure.
Even pressure to pull it in. And if I sense, and the guys have seen me do this tons, if there's, you can visually tell like it's not going in smooth. What you do is take your hammer and tap on the bearing, and all of a sudden it tap right on the outer race, and it goes straight, and you can hear it kapop, and okay, now it's straight. Reapply the pressure and goes in smooth. I use anti-seize on the outside of the basically on the case, so it draws it in smooth. And the question ultimately is, okay, what's the real risk to the case, and how many times can you do that before you wear out the case? So my contention again would be something like, well, how many times realistically is a case going to undergo new bearings, right? So I would love to do an experiment one day, get a crankcase, and I have them, and pull the bearing in and out, in and out, in and out cold, and see when it finally gives up,
So what about like race saws, which do change out bearings and stuff like that on a fairly regular basis?
I think race saws is a whole different ballgame. If you are, if you're racing, then certainly you have to use other techniques. But for what I do, just rebuilding trash saws into something that's working. And here's another contention. With cold, so you're putting the bearing in the freezer, you bring it out, what happens immediately? You get moisture,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't necessarily the best for the bearing.
That it's not, but the bearing's already pre-lubed.
Still get moisture on it.
Yeah.
So that.
But you also get moisture if you're sitting in your nice warm garage and you take it out, throw it in your pickup truck, and drive out to the woods to cut in the middle of the winter, and then cut all day, and then bring it back in and throw it in the garage.
There's probably
You're
moisture
gonna
in
get
there.
condensation then too.
Yep. And again, you hope that the lube carries you, essentially, over that hump. So yeah, in general, I will admit that it's probably safest for the crankcase if the hot cold thing works. I think it's considerably faster, and so far I've not had any issue with doing the bearings cold with a little bit of anti-seize and pulling them in with a piece of threaded rod and some. You could do it on a press too, but if you use an arbor press, there's no feel.
Yeah, you can't feel anything.
You can't feel anything. So if something goes off, you're just jamming it in there.
You know what makes me a real jackass? Even when I do the hot cold differential,
Yeah.
I put Loctite on the outside of the bearing as a seal in case there's any imperfections in the case. The Loctite will help seal it, and it makes it super hard for the next clown to press them out.
Press them out. We
My-
thank you, Buck, for that. Appreciate that. I'm never working on one of your saws. I don't know, like as soon as you hit that with heat, if we were like today, that Loctite gives up anyway.
Yes and no. It usually melts, but it depends on how good the Loctite is, how long it's been in there, what the hot cold cycles would have been. I just do it as a peace of mind. I know some people use the 3-bond on the outside of the bearing just as a very skim coat, just in case there's imperfections in the case.
The only place, I don't know, like it's got, in order to retain that bearing, that
It's got to be
interface has got to be really stinking tight.
It's got to be pretty darn tight.
So I cannot possibly imagine, and I've really never seen air bubbles if doing all kinds of pressure tests. I've never seen air bubbles come out from that spot, never.
The only time I've actually seen one was in a clapped out 372, and that was just the bearing was absolutely destroyed, and it started to spin the outer race in the case.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to put the money into a new case half, so I did it with the 3-bond. I pressed it in, and I told him, like, look, I can't give you a warranty on this. Like, we're shooting for the stars here, but as far as I know, it held. The saw never came back. Yeah.
So they actually Loctite
Yeah.
makes stuff specifically for bearing retention. They actually have bearing retention compound. I don't think I've ever opened that, but I have that in my toolbox just in case. Loctite 660, bearing retention compound. Some people swear by that stuff. That big industrial bearings, it holds.
Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
Right down the road. No hammers. I know. I don't like hammers. I don't like hammers, but especially on chainsaws. It kind of drives me crazy. But yeah, with the hot and cold thing, I got so frustrated over the years doing so much hot and cold that I'd somehow lose my heat differential. Something wouldn't go in straight, and then I'd be kicking myself. Still don't know why that gave up. Can't really figure it. So we'll make it all fresh and new, and
Start from the bottom up. I've got an 026 that I picked up. Somebody else had put 2 cylinders on it. They changed the gaskets. They changed the seals. They did everything that you're supposed to do, and it still ate another top end like immediately. So I got the saw for a song and a dance, and I never did anything with it. It's sitting sitting in a bin somewhere.
Mm.
But it was the same thing, you know. They had done everything right, so I was just gonna tear it all the way down, put in new case gaskets, or half gaskets, and just redo the whole thing over fresh, and see if it chewed up another top end. And if it did, I'd probably throw it across the shop. Or do the custom 395 porting like we did at the get together last year with a sledgehammer. That was a good time.
That was my 372 cylinder.
Was that? Oh, that's right, 372.
It was a
cylinder.
372 cylinder you guys played with a sledgehammer on.
Yep.
It was a perfectly good head, except for
No,
the
it
dang
wasn't.
ear cracked off, and I was begging Al to weld it back, and he said no.
Not only did he say no, he handed it to me and told me to destroy it.
He threw it in the garbage can and instantly, and apparently he must have dug it out and told you to destroy it. But
Yes.
he did it when I wasn't there. And you're like, no, the 346 actually has a metal clamp on it, and it was fully installed and was fine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's installed fine. Although we could pop that off and see.
No, it's still tight. I can't twist it. I can't do anything with it.
Pop it off, because if the impulse line, if that was installed improperly and the impulse line's buggered, my eyeballs. Yep, there you go. I know you don't like those.
I do not.
All right. So
No, I want to break it.
I know you want to break it. Well, the impulse line's good.
Huh?
Sometimes what'll happen is the nipple that goes into here gets compressed or something like that, but no.
No, seal's good all the way around. Definitely wasn't an intake issue. The seal was good all the way around. Dry versus wet.
Might have just run lean. The carburetor might be gummed, and the darn thing was running lean, and they were just heave-hoeing on it.
That could be.
How about the impulse line there?
Well, impulse line looks good. Still
Not
nice and
cracked or
flexible.
nothing?
No.
Yeah.
So I was just looking
That
at.
sucks. Bummer.
Tis the poop. I hate getting these off.
They're easy.
Yeah, but I still don't like it.
What do you mean? They're easy.
I don't like it.
You don't have to like it. You do have to do it.
Or you just buy a new one, press it on.
Wrong size, genius. Done.
I don't like them. I think it's a bad idea. Why would you apply side tension to an aluminum component that's already getting a massive amount of heat? Sorry, it's not a good idea. Take that, Husqvarna engineers. You're dumb.
They'll take it all day, all day. No pop, no pop, pop, no pop, Becca. We're not popping nothing tonight. You want this off? You clean it?
No, I just buy a new one. Or you just use that one as it is. Ooh, it's blue. Blue.
They're also new and $20 a shot.
Yeah. Why do they make parts so damn expensive?
Yeah, that's the decompression valves. That the Husky is very,
Yeah, they're
very
pretty
proud of
them.
them things.
I think very highly of that.
Apparently, the 272 top covers too. I've had this question with Joe Piper. He's like, they are proud of them.
Yeah.
The 272 top covers they get $100 for. Makes no sense at all because all the tooling is already paid for, like forever and a day ago. So why in the world would it still be stuck on expensive? Matt, did you see those links on eBay? What links? Did I miss something, Pat? Did you email me? What did I miss?
Yeah, this thing is just torched. And it looks like it was a clutch side failure because of how lean it is on that side.
Yeah, it gets hottest over there. You sent me last week. You did? Pat, I don't, forgive me, I don't remember, or I didn't get them. What were they to? Must have missed something. Sorry, Pat. I have a hard time keeping up with stuff. The crank? No, I definitely did not get those links. I did not get those links. 372 cranks. I did not get the links, man. I did not get that email. If I don't reply back to an email fairly quickly, then I didn't get it. I actually went looking for 372 eBay cranks, and they didn't have any that weren't aftermarket. Sometimes you can get pretty lucky on eBay with 372 cranks, but actually here, just to keep things organized, throw one of those in your bucket there. That other one I'm going to put in my stash.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
But
Always buy extras.
Hang on.
Clown.
No.
This place is a mess. You should clean up.
You think?
Oh boy.
That's a 6202. Put that in your
Yes, sir.
bucket too.
I've
to
got
find you a
bearings.
Now we got bearings for that. Then we need to find you bearings for the 350, which I think I have 2 new ones sitting around. Out in
With the
ocean.
seals on them, or
You got it. OEM brand new.
I'm gonna say because we can always do notches with the aftermarket seals.
I have that option too. That's up to you.
I haven't decided if I'm gonna port the snot out of that yet or not.
So what you do is you put it all together.
Run it, break it in, and then port it.
No, well, no. I put it all together because you have to. You test fit the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then I can machine the base for you.
Well, yeah, that's gonna happen because
But you have to test fit the head,
yeah.
and then we get a squish number, then machine the base, and then you're gonna optimize the squish.
Yeah.
Another option is to send the head down to Rattler and have him do the band, because he can just take 35 thousandths out of the band or whatever.
No, we'll keep it low budget. I like low budget.
The thing with the OEM heads on 346 is they got that damn lip
Mm-hmm.
of plating that I don't like.
We can play with that.
Need a piston. Some sandpaper on it. And get rid of the lip.
We have a piston. Pretty sure we can find some sandpaper. Or we could do what I did with that 394.
Get a piece of.
Nope. So I took the piston, the original piston from the 394. Yeah, one of them big goobers. So I actually did one step above that. I took an old wood chisel and I cut the end off the wood chisel. And then I cut a slot in the top of the piston here on an angle. And I measured out the angle to be 30 degrees, I think it was. but I made a slot with a Dremel, so the piece of chisel that I cut off could be slid in there, and then I JB welded it in. But I measured the height above the top of the piston that the blade was, and I set it, I think, at 2 thousandths. So it took very, very, very little, almost nothing off, and let it set overnight, get it all set in, and then on a 394 piston, a 1/2 inch extension fits right in to the web here, right in where these two notches are. So you put it in at 45 degrees and drop it right in, and then you can turn the piston. So I could set the piston on top of the extension that was locked in the vise, and it would sit up pretty square and solid, and I could just turn the cylinder on it and take off what I needed to square it up. And then obviously took some sandpaper and put sandpaper on top of the piston and polished it up and cleaned it up all nice, make sure there's no chatter marks, and that worked really well. But that was, I didn't have access to a Bridgeport, I didn't have access to a lathe, I didn't have any access to anything like that, and I was just trying to figure out how I could do it myself for as cheap as possible with what I had on hand, in case I was ever in a situation where something like that had to be done. I had something that would actually work, and it worked really well.
It's funny, that sandpaper that I have there, the purpley stuff, the maroon stuff, really does not work good on the heads, but the 3M 60 grit, 50-60 grit works fine.
What's pop, pop, pop?
Starting to chainsaw.
Oh.
They were expecting to hear it pop pop.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry,
I don't got
Pops.
the parts to put it back together.
Sorry, Pops. So Sorry, Pops is another funny story, actually.
Okay. Jay, tell me how you put the black stupid screwdriver sleeve on a Husky 66 without disturbing the cylinder head? What? Tell me how you put the black stupid screwdriver sleeve.
This. Oops.
You mean this? Yeah, this sleeve? Something like that? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. On a Husky 66, like a 266? Or an original, like, if it was a 66, I would think that would be an oldie.
Beat it in with a hammer? I don't think I worked on a 66.
61? It's funny, the video gets further and further and further behind.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's more and more and more of a delay over time. Yeah, that I don't know. 66. What are you doing working on a 66? I don't think I've ever seen a 66. What's a Husky 66?
Husky 66.
I know, but... Jay, why are you working on it? Never mind. Go work on a 372. I'll feel better. I know, but you have a 66 on the bench. Okay. Why? Who knows? Rookie.
Yeah, 66 is the precursor to 266, but I don't think I've ever actually seen one.
Okay. Minnesota acres. Okay. Year introduced 1980.
Old. It's got a 224 Tilly on it.
Metal flag. So it's effectively like just before a 61, which 61 was the Rancher version of the 266.
Hold on. I think the 61 precursed to 261. Yep, 61 Rancher.
Okay. 61 is actually before a 66.
Yep.
I would have thought otherwise, but okay.
Nope.
The metal is a metal thing in the way. The top cover helps hold the black thing. Yep, I'm sorry, man. Not something I've worked on. Personally, I think we should call it a night. So, yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
Is it really?
Yeah. Jay, I wish I could help you, man. I'd say let's call it a night around here. We will catch you guys some other time. Everybody give a big, warm round of applause here for Buck for showing up. Do appreciate that.
Cheers. I didn't do anything.
And maybe it's a 61. Maybe. I don't know. I again, Jay, I wish I could help, but I'm gonna run, and we're gonna catch you guys later. I do appreciate everybody hanging out, and everybody stay safe out there. Stay safe and healthy is always good. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye.